The Kryveth Dominion had never lost a war. 900 years of conquest, 600 species absorbed, broken, or erased. Their fleets did not fight battles, they erased timelines. A single Kryveth dreadnought carried more firepower than most empires' entire navies. Their smallest cruiser could crack a moon in half. They called themselves the Final Order. No species had ever survived first contact with them. Except one. 3 years ago, a Kryveth scout fleet found a small blue planet on the edge of known space. They called the species their soft ones, fragile, slow, unarmed. The scouts took one prisoner as a formality, a single human, unarmored, unarmed, silent. His name was not recorded. His designation was simple, Subject 1. He did not resist capture. He did not speak during questioning. He only watched. The Kryveth High Command found this curious, then irrelevant. A single caged animal posed no threat to an empire of 11,000 worlds. They were wrong. They just did not know it yet. Grand Marshal Vesaric Thane had conquered 41 worlds personally. He wore the skulls of 3 enemy commanders on his ceremonial collar. He had never met an enemy worth remembering. He stood on the bridge of the Devourer's Crown, flagship of the 3rd Reclamation Fleet. 6,000 warships waited behind him in perfect formation. Below them, Earth, blue, small, undefended by every scan they had run. Their entire military, an aide reported, consists of outdated projectile weapons and a handful of orbital satellites. Thane almost laughed. "Send the prisoner's location," he said. "Let him watch his species end from orbit." Subject 1 was brought to the observation deck in chains. He said nothing as the fleet began its descent formation. His eyes stayed fixed on the planet below. "You have 30 seconds to beg for their survival," Thane said. The human turned his head slightly. "You should check your fleet's rear flank," he said quietly. Thane's aide laughed. Thane did not. There was nothing behind them. Their sensors had swept the entire system twice. Empty space. Confirmed, triple-checked. "There is nothing there," Thane said. The human almost smiled. "There will be." The first sign was small. A sensor ping, then gone, then 12 more, then silence. "Explain that," Thane ordered. No one could. Then space itself seemed to fracture behind the Kryveth fleet. Not an explosion, not a jump signature, something the sensors had no category for. 900 human warships emerged in perfect silence. No engine flare, no gravimetric signature, no warning at all. "Impossible," the sensor officer said. "They should not exist. We scanned this system. There was nothing." Thane's hands tightened on the rail. "Fire," he ordered. "Fire everything." The Kryveth fleet unleashed a wall of plasma fire that could sterilize a continent. It struck the human ships and dissipated across shields that should not have existed. Not weakened, not cracked, absorbed. A single human cruiser, a fraction the size of a Kryveth dreadnought, answered with one shot. It tore through 3 Kryveth cruisers in a single line, front to back, without slowing. "That is not possible with our known metallurgy," the weapons officer whispered. "Nothing pierces graded hull plating like that." Thane turned to the prisoner. "What did you just do?" The human's chains had already fallen away, unlocked, though no one had touched them. "I didn't do anything," he said. "I just waited." What the Kryveth Dominion did not know, what no species had ever known, was this. Humanity had made first contact with a hostile alien scout ship 41 years earlier. That ship had been small, wounded, and alone. Humanity had not fought it. They had studied it. Every hostile encounter since had been the same pattern. Capture, study, wait, never provoke, never reveal. For 41 years, Earth had built in silence. No signals, no expansion, no provocation of any empire watching from the dark. They let every scout ship believe Earth was primitive. They let every probe report back exactly what the enemy expected to see. Because the greatest weapon humanity had ever built was not a warship. It was patience. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, humanity had built 17 shipyards no satellite had ever detected. Each yard could construct a warship in 11 days. Each ship was built from alloys reverse-engineered from 3 different captured alien hulls, refined for 41 years by human engineers who never stopped, never slept in shifts less than genius. By the time the Kryveth fleet arrived, Earth's true navy numbered 11,200 vessels, not defending a planet, waiting for a war. Subject 1 had not been captured. He had allowed himself to be taken. Because every prisoner exchange, every scout ship destroyed, every primitive signal humanity ever sent had been carrying something else entirely. Coordinates. For 41 years, every alien vessel that touched Earth system unknowingly mapped its own empire's supply lines, fleet positions, and command structures back to human intelligence. The Kryveth Dominion had spent 900 years building an empire. Humanity had spent 41 years learning exactly how to end it. Phase 1 complete, Subject 1 said quietly, watching the battle unfold below. Thane's blood ran cold at the word phase. How many phases are there? He asked. The human did not answer immediately. 7, he finally said. You're only in the second. The human fleet moved with a precision that had no wasted motion. No ship overlapped fire. No formation broke rhythm. It was not a battle. It was a demonstration. Kryveth dreadnoughts, ships that had ended entire star systems, began to fall. Not slowly, not with struggle. One by one, in sequence like a countdown. Redirect all power to forward shields, Thane commanded. Full retreat formation. Marshal, an officer said, voice shaking. Retreat vector is blocked. 900 more human ships had emerged behind the retreat corridor, silent, waiting, as if they had known exactly where the Kryveth fleet would try to run. Because they had. Human intelligence had modeled Kryveth retreat doctrine using data stolen from 41 years of captured officers, salvaged black boxes, and 1,000 quiet interrogations no empire ever noticed happening. Your fleet retreats the same way every time, Subject 1 said. Predictable enemies don't survive long against patient ones. A Kryveth dreadnought twice the size of Earth's largest warship tried to break formation and run. A single human vessel, 1/10 its mass, intercepted it and disabled its engines in one pass. No wasted shots, no excessive force, just precision. This is not a defense fleet, Thane said, almost to himself. This is an execution fleet. Phase 2 complete, Subject 1 said. Then, for the first time, he stepped forward without being ordered. The guards did not stop him. They had already been reassigned. Every human aboard the Devourer's crown, the maintenance crew, the translators, the neutral observers, the Kryveth had allowed onto their own flagship out of arrogant curiosity, moved at once. They were never prisoners. Grand Marshal Vesarik Thane finally understood, standing on the deck of his own captured flagship, chains no longer on the human beside him, but now around his own wrists. Every human vessel he had scanned as civilian transport over the past 3 years had been a warship in disguise. Every human diplomat sent to Kryveth outposts had been an intelligence officer. Every primitive, signal Earth ever broadcast had been bait, refined over 4 decades to feed the Dominion exactly what it wanted to believe. Humanity had not been hiding from the galaxy. They had been hunting it. You let us capture you, Thane said. It was not a question anymore. I let you capture what you wanted to see, Subject 1 answered. A frightened animal in a cage. Around the bridge, Kryveth soldiers who had conquered 41 worlds stood frozen, weapons lowered, unable to process a threat that had never once raised its voice. "How long have you been planning this?" Thane asked. 41 years, the human said. "Since the day your first scout ship touched our atmosphere and decided we weren't worth talking to." Outside, the last of the Third Reclamation Fleet either burned or surrendered. 11,000 human warships held position in perfect silence, awaiting the next order. Thane looked at the wreckage of 900 years of conquest, undone in under an hour. "What do you want?" he finally asked. "Territory, tribute, our surrender." Subject 1 shook his head slowly. "We don't want your empire," he said. "We want every species you enslaved to have the same 41 years of silence we had, to grow, undisturbed. And if we refuse to release them." The human's expression did not change. "Then Phase 3 begins," he said, "and there won't be a Phase 4 for the Dominion." Word of the battle spread across 1,000 star systems within days, not through Kryveth channels, through the 600 species the Dominion had conquered. For the first time in 900 years, a species had not asked the Kryveth Dominion for mercy. They had simply removed the option of cruelty. The Grand Marshal who conquered 41 worlds was returned to his homeworld in a single unarmed shuttle, alive, as a message. He never commanded a fleet again. Subject 1 returned to Earth 3 months later. No parade, no statue, no name released to history. When asked by Earth's own leadership what should be told to the galaxy, he gave one answer. 6 words, recorded once, repeated by every species that had ever feared the dark. Somewhere in the void, 11,200 human warships held silent formation around a small blue planet, waiting, watching, patient as they had always been. Because the galaxy had learned, at terrible cost, a single truth about the soft ones from Earth. The most dangerous thing in the universe was never a weapon. It was a species willing to wait 41 years to use one.